Let's get back to the market, where the Central Securities Clearing System in Nigeria has been at the forefront of the ease of doing business in the Nigerian stock market for many years. In recent times, however, the issue of Know Your Customer, or KYC, has been more imperative for the CSCS, even as the company get the licensing of the SEC to operate as a counterparty organization. Joining me now for a chat to some of these issues is Haruna Jalo Waziri, the Managing Director and CEO at CSCS PLC. A good evening to you, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, boss, and thank you for having me on the program.
It's good to see you. Let's just go straight to business. CSCS, what is the use of a depository account, and why is it important in a market investment cycle?
So, as a depository, we hold your electronic or an investor's electronic account. And the purpose for that is at any point in time when you trade, because trading is electronic, we can debit your account with the shares that you sell, or we credit your account with the shares that you buy electronically. We also send the settlement of cash through NIPS to your bank account or to your broker's bank account. So it's important that, you have all your data clean correctly with us.
But what is the process of Know Your Customer? It used to be in the banking sector. Now it has reared its head in the securities market. This documentation process, why is it important? How effective is it?
So, Boston, if you look at what is happening globally or what is even happening in the Nigerian market, what is important is to know who the individual is. What is his address? Does he have a bank account? What is the bank account? What's his BVN? And in many cases, even know your business. In these days of, anti-money laundering regime and TFT, it's important that, we identify who is buying, who is selling, and also to reduce any form of fraud. As you know, the responsibility of KYC actually rests with brokers. But what we do is we take custody of all of the information and ensure that there's smooth trading on your account. So what is going on right now is we want to know who the client is, what is his BVN number, or link it to his BVN number, what's the account number. And it's very simple, Boston. If you look at something as simple as the unclaimed dividend, one of the reasons why you have unclaimed dividend is because the data that sits with the CSCS and the registrars is not correct. And if we do not clean up that data and have everybody's data correctly in, we'll continue to see an increase in something as simple as unclaimed dividend. Same thing with unclaimed certificates. I mean, you have people who have the wrong addresses in their system, and every time we send a certificate in the days of certificate, you'll find out that, they go to the wrong place. And those certificates are now with us. So we have unclaimed digital certificates sitting at the CSCS. And so it is very important that not just because from the AFT-CML perspective, but also from the beneficial aspect of participating in the market, that, the KYC is done properly and, investors get their benefits as
so this vaccination that you are giving the market, like that a shot in the arm, is very important to prevent virus in the market, because this is a big one on claimed dividend, double registration for shares and all of that. So let's talk about, perhaps I have a restriction on an account, as it were, and I'm prevented from trading in the secondary market of the stock exchange. How do I go about that? How do I get vaccinated?
It's not different, and thank you. I don't think I would have described it appropriately. I think you just did that, matching the pandemic and cure to what we have. So you're right. Take a look at the bank, for example, today, Boston. If you have a identification with the bank, let's say it's your passport or your driver's license, and any of those two instruments in the bank, if you use any of them, expires, you can't transact in that bank. And so sitting down with the SEC, the Association of Stockbroking Houses, as well as the stock exchange and ourselves, and also the registrars, we actually came to this resolution that we need to do something about upgrading the KYC. And at that meeting, I must commend the new DG in ensuring that this is done very quickly. We said that we would like to see, when you have a mandate as a broker, that before the mandate is executed, the individual or the investor or the company would complete the KYC, otherwise the trade will not occur, the mandate will not be executed. It's very simple. And so we're seeing a flurry because the market has moved significantly from where it was 3 months ago. We're seeing volume and value up to 18 billion in a day. And so there's excitement. Everybody's coming now, and we're seeing a bunch of activity in terms of KYC updates. Even with the portal that we've given the stockbrokers, there are a few teething issues, but I think it's the best thing to do. This is time to do it, and we need to clean up our market from a KYC perspective.
So when you talk about the Central Securities Clearing System and all of that, the finance bill for 2021 seemed to have a clause around unclaimed dividend, whether it should revert to the government. I'm sure this is a battle that I grew up as a young guy, man in the market, and I'm not much old. I'm still an issue here about how to resolve it. What's your take on this?
So I think we have to give unclaimed dividend to when they come to claim it to the institution. Now, taking it away and keeping it under a government institution might be something we have to look at. There might be other suggestions as to how to address it, especially within the capital market, because this is a capital market issue. And I think the resolution of that can remain still with the capital market. And I think that many institutions within the capital market can step in. I think the SEC could, be in the front line in trying to, yes, you can sequester, yes, you can, manage separately, but I'm not sure, the CBN or the DMO should do it. I think it should remain in the capital market, if at all. But anyway, there are suggestions that have been put forward as to how it should be done. I think it's something we should look at critically before we jump.
Just a quick one for about a minute. What about the counterparty funding? Congratulations on getting licensing for that. How does that move you forward as a game changer in the market?
So, as you know, we're investors in NG Clear, alongside, many other institutions, including the Stock Exchange, the Sovereign Wealth Fund, Access Bank, and a few other banks, and a private equity fund. And also the brokers. So this is a good step. As you know, we don't have a derivatives market. The stock exchange is quickly trying to introduce an exchange-traded derivatives market in which, at this point, you need a clearing house because you need to innovate those trades. You need to, ensure that you bring transparency and, remove the risk in the market. And that's what CCPs do. And so we're happy that NG Clear has gotten the license. The software is being deployed. They're going through rule changes or rule making and putting the structure in place to ensure that, we now begin to see derivatives trade. Because as you know, there are very little hedging instruments in this market. PFS should be more concerned about that. And if there are any, they're typically bilateral, which are risky. And even for the regulators, you have to have where,
Okay, Haruna Jalo Waziri, the Managing Director and CEO at CSCS PLC. Let's leave it there for today. Thank you so much for your time explaining the KYC, the counterparty, and position on unclaimed dividends and all issues around the Finance Bill 2021. Thank you so much.